Well, Delegate Beitzel, the session is in the books. What kind of book is it? Is it a good one or a bad book?
Well, it ended with a very unusual set of circumstances.
Okay, what you got?
That we passed the budget, and we passed the capital budget. But there were two bills that were critical in getting wrapped up in order to have things work out the way they needed to work out as far as having revenue and funding for a lot of the things that were in the budget. The revenue bill, which was a series of increases in income taxes and a reduction in the amount of deductions one can take on income taxes that was part of the revenue package to provide the funds to meet the needs of the budget, did not pass. And the BRFA, which is the Budget Reconciliation and Finance Act, that would have balanced last year's, or this current year's budget, the one we're currently in, and would also provided some additional provisions in this year's budget, did not pass.
What does that mean to the educational funding stop that you guys negotiated and put? Does that call that off then?
That basically eliminates those provisions that were put in. The provisions that were provided a 5% cap on the loss of funding for Garrett County was contained in the BRFA, and since it didn't pass, that cap is not in place. So we have, when the budget was passed, it was passed with a provision that if the BRFA didn't pass, and if the revenue bill didn't pass, that we would have then what are called the doomsday issues that were then incorporated into the budget, which means a loss of the educational funding.
So does this get addressed in a special session? There's been some rumors about that, but the governor chose not to hold the legislature back this time. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I really think there'll be a special session. There was an effort last night by the speaker to extend the session. And so there was a resolution made to extend the session for up to 5 days to continue to pass bills and to try to resolve these issues with the budget. But the Senate did not concur or didn't pass it, which means at 12 o'clock everything had to stop, and whatever didn't get passed at that point was dead. So now if we call a special session, or if the governor calls a special session, which I think will occur, then all these bills, the BRFA bill and the revenue bill and any other bills that didn't get through, will have to start all over, which means that there will have to be a new bill submitted, there will have to go to committee, there will have to be a hearing, people can come in and testify for or against the bills, and we'll have to go through the whole procedure the same as if we just started a new session.
That puts the Garrett County Board of Education in a tough place right now then, huh?
Well, it even puts them in a tougher place because with the doomsday budget, there's additional loss in educational funding. So it would even be they would be even in a worse situation than if we didn't get the 5% cap.
If you were sitting on the Board of Education right now, what would you do?
Well, I would suggest strongly to them that they give this a couple more weeks to play out, because I really think that we'll be going back to Annapolis to try to fix this.
Okay, any other things that we should know about that has transpired as a result of this failure to concur, I guess you could call that?
Really, it was kind of sad, if I may. It really came down to a struggle between the Speaker and the President of the Senate. we've been sitting down there, and I'm on conference committee. We sat basically all day long yesterday waiting for the Senate to decide what they were going to do. And the Senate was, and I think particularly President Miller, wanted a slots bill passed to allow an additional slots parlor to be built in Prince George's County at National Harbor. That bill was moving, but he wanted to build a move, and he wanted House concurrence on the provisions of the bill before he would move the budget. So we had plenty of time to work this all out, but we sat down there twiddling our thumbs while the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate were trying to figure out who was going to outdo each other.
Okay, sir. I appreciate your time today, and we'll be in touch in the coming week.
Okay. It really is, Paul, kind of. It's kind of sad, not kind of sad. It's really a shame, because now we're going to go back to special session, and it costs additional money to try to straighten something out that we could have taken care of during the regular session.